own, and he gives it out to the people of the war in order, the military personnel, in order they should win the war. The same thing is also in the higher spheres, in the higher worlds, that they should win the war. They give them the bizbos, bizbos, that they give out everything, the treasure from above.
So what does that mean?
He doesn't explain what it means in the two things you mean. What it means in the Lamaila, it means the union of Yerushalayim, the union of the Keichas that a person gets to win the war. But here the Rebbe is going to explain further the difference between the two Avedas is also what accomplishes, what comes out from them, what is the Amshocha, what is the outcome, and what is drawn down as a result of these two Avedas. What is drawn down through his kafir, what is drawn down through his hapcha.
That's turning over and
one is subduing the darkness, and one is converting the darkness. Each one brings down a different revelation. The difference between the two Avedas, Iskafi and Ishapche, is also in the Hamshocha that is drawn down through them. It's not only in them. That one accomplishes a question, obtaining territory, and the other one accomplishes a struggle with the Yetzer Hara, but it is also what is accomplished as a result of that. The Hamshocha that comes through Iskafia is a lot higher than the Hamshocha that comes through Ishapche. The Kadiskafia Sitrachere Iskafia Daichke Istale Kikore de Kutchebriche Bechulome. When it was Iskafia Sitrachere, the Sitrachere was subdued, so then Istale Kikore de Kutchebriche Bechulome, so then there was a revelation, Hamshochas Vigili Yasmasir and Sof Shalamaila Meshachas Leilamas. So then there was a Gilui, a drawing down from his essence, Lamaila, from his essence, the infinite revelation, which is higher than relating to world. That's why then Hamshocha is called B'Shem Mistalik. Why? Because it is Gilui Ha'er in a way of Reimemus, that it remains beyond the level of world.
So his Skafia is greater than his Hapa.
Right, because it's a constant struggle and it's more exertion.
But the accomplishment of his Hapa is greater than his Skafia.
Yeah, but it's mitzad also mitzad Ischar Aveda. It's the constant struggle, the exertion that he puts in. It's al derech like the chilek between a Beinin and a tzaddik in a sense. A Beinin is a constant struggle.
But he may never accomplish.
Yeah, but Lapil Mamish er hard of it. Er hard of it of them. He really hard of us. And here comes a very interesting thing. I got an email today. Lubavitcher Chassid was challenged with a question. Why is it that we say on tzaddikim, by a Rebbe, we say istalkus of a Rebbe. We don't say ptira of a Rebbe. Why can't we use the word ptira?
Patira.
Ptira.
what's the difference?
Ptira, we usually say something. In Inyan, it's a different meaning altogether. When you say ptira, that means he's already exempt. He's exempt from Teiro mitzvahs. He's niftar. We say istalik, it means he was removed. He was elevated to a higher level. So the Rebbe says over here, very interesting. Here I found the answer. It's not the pshat he's leaving. A greater hamshocha. Hamshocha menishmas hatzadik atzma she'ena mugbelas b'teicheli levush. It is not within a vessel and a garment. In other words, it stands on a level which is beyond that. It's like hovering over it, because it can't come down in a vessel.
It's not limited. It's not limited, basically.
Right, it's not limited.
We use different terms for different rebbeim. Like the way the Rebbe referred to the Frierdiker Rebbe, he didn't. In other words, he didn't use the word histolic by the Frierdiker Rebbe.
Okay, but when he does speak about the Rabbeim, he says that.
Rebbeim, he does
Okay,
say.
good. But be'etzem, he uses the word histalkas, not ptira.
But he didn't use it by the Frierdiker Rebbe.
Okay, that's a separate thing. Yeah, that's a separate thing. The Rebbe once said that you shouldn't say Nishmase Eiden because it's Nishmase B. The Nisham is in it. when somebody set up as Nishmas Eden, the Rebbe says, where are you sending? What are you sending him away? Somewhere in Paselnia. We need him here. So that's a besondere Yachas between the Rebbe and the Frierdiker Rebbe. But in general, the expression, this guy had a taina, he told him. What do we use the Lashon Petira, the Histalkus, not the word Petira? And it's interesting, in Tanya, in the Geras HaKedesh Zach, I looked it up, it says, Tzadik di Ispater. Di Ispater, you know Petira. Muzayin ober Gitzvu, I mean, in addition to the beer here. So the Rebbe says, V'zeh shenikro b'shem Histalkus, that what is the Inyan of the Inyan of Histalkus, ulufishu gilu shalamayla mislapshas b'kelim. It is a gilu that's higher than kelim. So on one hand, Histalkus means he left. On the other hand, so we see is here. So we say, why do we use such a word? Because it is a revelation which hovers over, but it's still there. I says that this is one beer that could be used. It's not just like a... But you have the marshal, the tzaddikim, Pelish tzaddikim, others, when they speak about the ilulas of their rebbes. They don't say stalkos? I don't know.
The definition of Yom Hilula, I heard, is also like a joy of a wedding.
Right, tzaddikim, especially the ones that reveal pnimius al Teirach Chassidus. So they, in this day comes a new hamshach, a new revelation, because they come, because it's infinite. Chassidus, so therefore every
They're
year
not
comes a
limited
new
to the body,
gila.
basically.
Right. Especially after 20 years. You have that there also? Yeah, okay, because that was edited, and this is before it was edited. Especially when it comes after 20 years, which is Tafshin Lamed 1970. This discourse was said 20 years after 1950. That there's also the union of Limker B'Nichseyav. What does Limker B'Nichseyav mean? That 20 years old, our sages tell us a person is mature enough to deal with the property of his father. Till then he can deal with commodities, with individual things after 13 years old, but 20 years old a person is mature and reached the shleimus of maturity in development, that they can then be reliable and responsible for dealing with property of his fathers. So the Rebbe says this also refers to the students of the tzaddik that are called children. Means the Rebbe is talking about the Frierdiker Rebbe, that after 20 years they gain a certain maturity. And this is 20 years after the stalkus of the previous Rebbe.
The Hasidim.
Yeah. The Hasidim who are referred to as children.
So it's not being 20 years old.
It's 20 years after the Ilula.
So if the Chassid was 65 years old by the Histalkus of the Rebbe, he has to be 85 years old
In order to reach 20 years of
20 years
Chassidus,
Of his Rebbe.
maturity
Of
of
his
knowledge.
Rebbe. Of dealing with his Rebbe's in Yonim.
Maturity of that is
What do you want? 20 is easy. There's others says till 40 years you don't understand the depth of your Rebbe.
But what if you already had 40 from before?
You have 40 from before, or something else, but it says till 40 years a person doesn't figure out, not the 40 in age, the 40 since. We find it by Moshe Rabbeinu that V'leinosan Hashem lachem leiv ladaz v'einayim liris ad arboim ad hayemazeh, 40 years. 40 years is a certain generation, a certain time slot. And actually the Rebbe brings from Igeres HaKedesh, from the letter that the Alter Rebbe writes in chapter 27, and 20, I think it's 27, and the Biur, that from there it comes out that you don't really have to wait even 40 years. Because it comes even, there's an intuition already that a person receives from the tzaddik even before 40 years.
That's one of the chiddush between the Kabbalah, Zohar, and Chassidus. Chassidus, any age could learn. The Kabbalah is not made for everyone.
Kabbalah, it says a person should wait till 40 years old.
But Bichlal, the Kabbalah is not made,
It's also the understanding Kabbalah, that a person should be careful how he's learning it, because Kabbalah, he can't just learn it, it would be a system there, plumbing or another system. It's a very darkistic, it's a very
basically
delicate
Kabbalah
subject.
is not made for everyone. Chassidus is made for everyone.
One of the inyanim is because of how it's interpreted, Pashit. Without Chassidus, a person would not understand Kabbalah the way a person should understand Kabbalah. On the other hand, the Rebbe is very strong about it. I remember once by Fabrengen, the Rebbe said, and Chassidus is not an explanation on Kabbalah. It's an inyan for
What
itself.
does that mean?
It means, in other words, it explains, but that's not what Chassidus consists of. Chassidus, so if you want to interpret what is Chassidus, it's not an explanation on Kabbalah. It deals with everything. It's a fifth level. It's the 5 levels of the neshama.